Notice of act of court and act of state, legal authority and jurisdictional impact. Description. This educational text explores the legal principles of act of court and act of state, focusing on their authority, jurisdictional scope, and implications in judicial and governmental decisions. It examines the legal distinctions between these doctrines and how they impact individuals, contracts, and sovereign authority. The discussion also explains how to issue a formal notice to assert or challenge legal actions under these principles. Understanding act of court and act of state. Act of court. An act of court refers to a judicial decision or order issued by a court within its jurisdiction. This may include rulings and judgments that establish legal precedent, orders enforcing contracts, property rights, or obligations, court-mandated actions that legally alter the rights of individuals or entities. Key legal aspects of an act of court. It must be issued within a court's jurisdiction and adhere to due process. It has binding legal force unless appealed or overturned. Can be challenged if the court exceeded its authority or violated legal protections. Example application. A court issues a foreclosure order against a homeowner, enforcing a contract between the borrower and lender. The homeowner challenges the decision, claiming the court exceeded its authority by violating contractual or constitutional protections. Act of state. An act of state refers to a sovereign government's action, typically involving international relations, war, treaties, or policy decisions affecting foreign or domestic parties. Acts of state are generally considered non-justiciable, meaning courts may not interfere with them. Key legal aspects of an act of state. Involves executive authority rather than judicial rulings. Can include confiscation of property, diplomatic actions, or war declarations. May be immune from legal challenge in domestic courts under sovereign immunity doctrines. Example application. A government nationalizes a foreign company's assets under an economic policy. The company attempts to sue, but the court rules that the seizure is an act of state, making it non-reviewable. Issuing a notice of act of court and act of state. A formal notice of act of court and act of state serves to acknowledge a court's authority or challenge its jurisdiction. Clarify the legal nature of government actions that impact private parties. Assert protections against judicial or executive overreach. Example notice statement. I, your name, formally acknowledge that the action taken in case number, constitutes an act of court. However, I challenge the court's jurisdiction over this matter due to legal basis. Additionally, I recognize that any governmental involvement in this issue may constitute an act of state, warranting further legal review. Legal and practical implications. Establishes jurisdictional boundaries between courts and sovereign acts. Challenges wrongful court orders that exceed legal authority. Recognizes sovereign immunity in international legal matters. Conclusion. A notice of act of court and act of state is a legal instrument used to clarify, assert, or challenge judicial and governmental actions. By issuing such a notice, individuals and entities protect their legal rights and jurisdictional standing against overreach by courts or state authorities.